Hello and welcome to another Patreon video. In this video I just wanted to show you what it's like behind the scenes. I've got my desk all set up. I tend to have a bright light to my left and a warm light to my right. I like this because it creates an effect of light and dark, so what I'm often going for is something warm on this side with something really cold on this side. Don't ask me why I decided to settle on this, I just like the aesthetic. My wall is a light bluey grey, which is perfect for either brightening up or making darker. I use a Q9 microphone, and this microphone cost me about £30 on Amazon. Make sure that if you're buying one of these to keep an eye out for the sales because they come and go fairly regularly. My actual desk is comprised of several shelves that I put on the wall to allow me to store my unfinished models, my light box that I just chatted about in this week's video, as well as just general gubbins. I tend to keep the lights when they're not in use underneath the table so that they aren't in my way. I've also got two racks underneath the table, and in these I store all of my general knickknacks. Although with small fingers coming later this year, I'm probably going to have to rethink that method. This is pretty good for recording. It can feel a little bit weird when you're recording here and the family is sitting off to the side, judging every move you make. However, you've got to get started somewhere. In terms of my tech, I just use my camera. In terms of camera, I just use my phone camera. It can film in 4K, which allows me to get all of those juicy close-up shots. I'm not an expert painter, so I never need to record every single brushstroke. However, being able to do time lapses is a little bit of an art, which I'm still getting used to, but it can make for something more interesting. But I wanted to talk about what I would love to happen. With a little bit of time and a little bit more money, my plan is to convert my attic. So if you have a look here, you climb up the rickety ladder, which again I would love to have turned into a staircase, but that costs much dinero. Instead, as you can see, there are fairly nice high roofs. My plan is to start insulating. The first thing I did was put down all of the boarding and using old carpet from when we moved in, put a little bit of padding down. But this is freezing in the winter. If we look over here, we can see that all of these boxes are really piling up because I don't know about you, but I absolutely love any box that's double or triple ply. So I really need to have a clear out of that, not only for a fire hazard, but I actually ran out of money before I boarded in there. So I want to board in there so I have similar storage to the other side. The rafters I would like to insulate, and I'm tempted to use something like Kingsfoil that comes in big sheets and cut it down to size. In an ideal world, I plan on having a window here and a window here. And these will be nice big Velux window to let ventilation in and let paint fumes and stuff out during the summer, and just generally to brighten up the place. With the insulation done and all that, you'll be able to have over on this side all of my desks. My plan is to be able to have my recording stuff all set up all the time, because right now it's balanced somewhat precariously over on my left. It also means that I have to take everything down and reset it up every time I want to record, which as you can imagine is a bit of a pain. So if I could have it all set up down here, it would be fantastic. The crown piece in this room is this gorgeous gaming table. I managed to pick it up for an absolute steal from a local car boot sale. It cost me about £30, whereas the new table would cost about £300, and it even has two extensions, going from a whopping 6'8" to a nearly 12-foot table. My plan is to be able to attach onto the beams after I've sanded them down to look nice, having some cameras so I can actually record battle reports. On the back here is my dark corner that has all of my miniatures that really need a good sort, and I'd love to do a video recording my pile of shame, which is so much more than the 1821 models that I mentioned in my Zenithal video. Finally, on the way out, you can see my display cabinets. I've got another two of these. Now remember, I've been collecting stuff for a long time, and I've lived in many different cities and thus played in many different gaming groups. This means that I've collected a huge array of miniatures and different games. All of these are going to be painted at some point, but when they are done, there's nothing nicer than displaying them in a nice glass cabinet or on a wooden bookshelf like this. If you'd like to know anything else about my setup, maybe you're interested in what I use for editing, or you just want a life video, a day in the life of, do let me know, because I'll happily make that for this channel. Otherwise, thank you very much for watching, and if you're a Patreon supporter, thank you so much for supporting the channel. Otherwise, remember to keep battling the backlog.